time to go beyond Plus Ultra for more Boku no Hero Academia.
Wait, what? Where am I? What's going on? Why am I here again? Oh, right. We had to do these like twice in a row.
Which, actually, I had the fastest turnaround for an episode.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I saw that go up. Like, oh damn, that was quick.
I literally worked 2 hours straight. Well, with like minor breaks just to cool myself down, but I shoved out that episode really, really fast.
All right, now just do that every week from now on.
Hey, I mean, it is possible. It is possible.
And next thing I know, I'm suddenly going to start sounding like a robot in these things for no apparent reason.
I'll do better editing than that.
I didn't say that you would. I was thinking you would do it on purpose. Just to fuck with me.
No, I would not do that.
How would I know? I don't usually listen to these things. You could do it and get away with it for a while, I bet.
Oh, did you listen to...
You're probably doing it right now!
Did you listen to the timestamps I gave you?
Fuck, I completely forgot.
Next time, then!
I completely forgot.
I want my partial points. Damn you.
Like forgetting they'll be in, like, permanent limbo, though.
I will remind you several times this week. Hey, listen to the timestamps. Listen.
Okay, Navi.
Listen. Hey, listen.
I'm just gonna put fucking little wings on you in the next title card.
Oh, God.
You start glowing.
Oh, my God, dude. Holy shit.
Hey, listen! Hey! Listen!
Was that only in Zelda 64?
I believe Navi only exists in that game. I think Ocarina is the one. I don't think it's in Majora's Mask at all. No.
Even though Majora was meant to be a direct sequel?
I don't remember him being there. So I don't think so.
Wait, Navi was male?
I don't know which gender it is. It's ambiguous as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I don't think so, because isn't Majora's Mask technically supposed to take place in, like, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Prequel?
No, it is a sequel. I want to say it's what is it? The place you wait before you go to, like, heaven or hell.
Limbo?
No, that is another word for it, but it starts with a P.
Purgatory?
That's the one. I feel like it takes place in, like, a weird purgatory afterlife situation.
I thought that Majora's Mask was supposed to be one of the first in the timeline.
Yeah, but I think everything divides during Ocarina, doesn't it? Like, I think Ocarina is the start where everything forks.
Oh, so
I think the undead person you learn moves from is supposed to be like a prior Link.
Oh. So Ocarina is not the first game in the timeline.
I think it's the first game that splits. I don't know if there's anything prior to it. Like, I don't remember. I don't have a fucking Hyrule Historia in front of me, and I don't know how accurate that is anymore.
Yeah, but this isn't a Hyrule podcast. It's Boku no Hero time.
Also, when does Cadence of Hyrule take place?
I've never even heard of that one.
All right, have you heard of Curse of the Necrodancer?
Yes.
So the person that created that was given the opportunity from Nintendo to create a version of that with Legend of Zelda.
Huh.
And it's on the Switch. And I've played it. Fun game.
So,
Anyway.
So, Link is telling the story about how Lady Nagant is saying.
Yeah, just imagine that. The sniper rifle bullet comes from behind and he manages to deflect it with the Master Sword. Oh man, it's so cool. And then suddenly the sword is talking to him, but then there's also speakers in the bullets.
Mm. So, 2 weeks. Go to Hibori Woods.
Months,
Okay. And so Deku just storms the place with some heroes, which
so here's the thing. I'm assuming this is at least a day or two later. Because
probably.
one, Nagant's in the hospital. Two, I feel like there was at least a little bit of recovery time going on.
Mm-hmm. And there's more heroes there, like
yeah, they had to gather
Lady
everyone.
Kurobi Woods?
Kamui.
Kamui.
But yeah, they had to then like gather everyone. And I'm just like, holy shit. I didn't think we were gonna rush this right away. I thought we'd have like a scene or two like gathering the people and setting up the plan. But no, we're just going right in on it.
Yeah, so Deku storms the former hideout of the Creature Rejection Clan and finds a recording by All For One.
Yep, and as soon as I saw this, like, oh, that's gonna explode. That's totally going to explode.
This message will self-destruct. So, he basically taunts Deku and says, like, hey, I'm not interested in that oaf All Might anymore. I'm interested in you.
I mean, that's just stating the obvious. Like, All Might doesn't have a one for all anymore. Why the fuck would he care anymore? At all.
Yeah.
Outside of getting to Deku through All Might, why would he care? Also, everything that this spiral that's happening here after these events is kind of exactly what All For One is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is very obvious to me. Like, if what happens later on in this episode had not occurred, and Deku runs himself ragged, plus isolates himself the way he was, way easy to take him out.
Oh, yeah. And you were right. The device explodes. Luckily,
of course it does.
All the heroes survives.
Like, hey man, you like that Nagant explosion? How about another one?
Yeah.
I got enough for seconds here. Oh, but yeah, they don't really know how they survive. They only say they just barely made it out. So I'm like, okay, cool. What did you do?
Maybe they sensed it was going to explode.
I don't know, because like, trying to think of the characters that were there, I don't think any of them could have put up a barrier to like block it.
Deku could have used Danger Sense.
I mean, he could have used Danger Sense, but that's still like, we saw what happens when shit gets close to him, right? With Lady Nagant.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he would have had the time. Also, it seems like it's more directed toward like biological beings, like Nagant. I don't think it's triggered on anything that was like non-living, let's say. Like a preset bomb or something. I would assume it could, maybe? But by proximity, shouldn't he have already like noticed that at that point?
Fair enough.
Plus, I feel like they would have shown it if that was the case.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, everyone else that's there, I don't know how they would have gotten away without some kind of damage.
So, all the heroes are talking about all the problems they're facing right now.
I mean, just the whole thing that we've basically been seeing this entire time, which is just, you know, hero society devolving, heroes giving up and turning in their cowls, you know.
One boo speaks louder than 10 cheers.
Yup.
And I'm still half surprised that...
Also, sorry, I'm cutting you off here. I just want to point this out, because I didn't notice it before. At least while they were there in the hideout. But Lady Nagant, or not Lady Nagant, Mount Lady has like some kind of weird. Do you know what the best way to describe it is? Literally a Best Jeanist collar going on here on her costume now.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, because she's actually showing her face. That's the only real difference.
Mm.
And the neck isn't ridiculously elongated. But like, yeah, she's got like a weird muffled collar that like comes up to just under her ears, it looks like. And I don't know why she has it.
And I'm just still slightly confused by the name Death Arms for a hero. Granted, I know Bakugo is like load, murder, explosion, dynamite, but hey, that's Bakugo. Death Arms sounds more like a villain name to me.
What is his quirk?
Unnamed arm strength quirk.
What does it do? Superhuman levels of strength in his arms, able to lift things that are heavy. Huh. Yeah, interesting choice. I mean, it's a lot shorter than Bakugo's,
Yeah.
as we hear later. But yeah, they're basically saying, like, if we let this out, we don't have the manpower to kind of deal with the fallout of it, of like letting out the secret with Deku and One for All.
Yeah.
Plus, if it was something that All for One wanted to reveal, he would have done so by now.
So why
So for
doesn't
some reason,
he?
he's keeping quiet. I don't know. I don't know. It could be he fears that it would be more of a rallying cry, considering Deku is supposed to be All Might's successor.
But with all the negativity pointed at heroes now, this would be a lot more negativity pointed at him. Like, you're All Might's successor. You should be able to handle this.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It might very well be that even All for One can't be 100% on where things would go. It could go in a bunch of different directions. Heroes could rally around him, even if it's not the public.
Okay. So, Deku meets the second assassin and instantly deals with him.
Yeah, he dead. He's all wrapped up.
Oh, be careful, All Might. He could explode too.
Yeah, be careful. He might go boom.
And All Might is like, wait, Midoriya, I made you another lunch. Oh,
It was made so delicious. You should have some.
I don't need that. I don't need anybody.
He's not that cruel about it. It just, yeah, I don't know. He's just like, look, you don't need to worry about me. I can handle this. And he's like, just trying to like isolate himself more. Like the more people he cuts off, the less directions All for One can hit him at. Is probably his idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then he leaves with All Might crying on the floor with a spilled lunch.
And then we cut to somebody in the shadows, like with.
Oh, that's Stain. That is
Oh,
outright Stain.
oh, that was.
Yep, that is most definitely Stain. Like you can kind of tell by what the lower half of his face looks like. It's Stain. Like it's the tongue, and the fact that you can kind of see like the ragged mask, like the bottom of it there. It's Stain.
Oh, I did not realize that was Stain.
Yep, which I find interesting. I'm curious where this goes, because All Might was the one that like the one hero Stain like
Respected?
absolutely respected. The only one he considered like, or I should say, one of the very few he considered a real hero. And I feel like, yeah, even at the end of that arc where we had Stain saved Deku from one of the Nomus because he recognized him as a real hero. So I'm curious where Stain goes from here.
So maybe Stain will have a change of heart, or I don't know.
Here's what I'm thinking. I don't think Stain is like obviously the fact that Stain is like trying to watch and spy here. There's a damn good chance, at least in my mind, that Stain will join with Midoriya, unless something has come up with All for One. Which even then, I highly doubt Stain would have gone along with it because All for One is the exact opposite of everything he would have wanted. or liked.
So do you think this scenario that's happening now in Stain's mind will show who the true heroes are?
I think that's probably the case. Like, this is the exact situation he was kind of trying to make happen. It's probably more extreme than what he had originally thought, but it's definitely the same idea of like hero society crumbling, you know, the false heroes like turning in their capes, and the real heroes sticking it out even through the hardship. The minute everything turns, you know, to shit, all the heroes that were there for the money are gone because the money's not there anymore.
Oh, I think we forgot to mention, Deku is completely fine.
Why are you asking? He's fine.
Totally fine.
Yep. You know, then we get some shots of like Deku, who totally looks like a hero, saving people, and people freaking out because it looks like a monster.
Are you working for All for One?
Mm-hmm. And even the prior, like at least 4 of the prior users are like ghost forms behind him, being like, "Look, man, fucking take a break. You're gonna like die. You're not healing fast enough. You don't have a Wolverine healing factor." So here's what I'm curious about, right?
Yes.
They allowed him to have access to their quirks, right?
Could they take it away?
That's what I was curious about. Could they lock off their quirks from him now? Because if so, they could kind of force him to take the break.
I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it a one-way ticket? Like, once this is given, we can't stop it anymore. In which case, there's only one user who hasn't given over their quirk yet. At least so far.
Yeah.
So far as we've seen.
But then
And I'm pretty sure it's the one who's not sitting in his chair. It's the redhead.
And then we meet the villain, Dictator.
Yep.
What did you think of his quirk?
Actually, back up for a
Yes.
second, right? We had the talk here where we had like the redhead mentioning how like there's got to be something to do, right? Like what is it? What's the exact wording he has in here? He says if there's a way to bolster Midoriya. So basically he's looking for a way to get him to like, I'm not sure what based on that wording he's looking for exactly, but it made me think that the events that happen later might have been triggered partly through All Might. But then it doesn't seem like that was the case. So I'm curious. A lot of it comes down to just how much information is shared between the All Might that's in One for All and the All Might that's physically still alive. And I'm just constantly curious about like what information can be shared between those two. Like, we know emotions at least seem to be able to be shared, but like, is there more than that? Anyway, yes, cut to Dictator.
What did you think of his quirk?
I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen this before. Making people into marionettes just kind of seems like the obvious, most evil thing you could do to a hero for a hero to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for when we get Scarecrow gas quirk.
No.
Because that's a fun idea in general.
Yeah, it would, but at the same time, no. That how would that be able to be stopped?
I mean, you wear a gas mask. How does Batman beat it all the time?
Fair point. Yeah,
Like,
I know. I'm dumb.
the answer is quite literally right in front of you, sir. Just go to the reference that I pulled this power from.
Oh, damn it.
You know what? I need to ask this question then.
Yes.
So if there would be that, would there be a Catwoman quirk where all of a sudden you're just a crazy cat lady that just attracts cats? Your quirk is just to attract more cats.
Could you control the cats, though?
I'm sure you might be able to give them some generic instructions. Otherwise, you'd be like Annie Voice. where he just straight up talks to all the animals and tells them what to do.
Loosely can control cats, but they're cats, so they probably won't listen to you.
Hey, I told you to go in the litter box, not on my coffee. Yeah, nah, I'm gonna go in the coffee.
Uh,
That's my pie crust. That's not your litter box.
oh my god.
I mean, technically, Spinner is like a side branch of Killer Croc. So we kind of have him already.
Oh god. So, we have Deku saying, just let me think of an idea. I don't want to hurt all these people.
I'm sorry. I just thought, what's the Joker quirk? You have all the powers of a clown.
You mean a Yakuza? You mean a Yakuza?
Pulls out a real ass gun.
Because clowns are the true Yakuza.
Oh my fucking god.
And then all of a sudden, Bakugo shows up.
Hey, look, it's the title of the episode.
Yep, midway through again.
Yeah. Luckily that happened because Deku was getting swamped by these people, and he's like so out of it from hunger and exhaustion that he's just like seeing multiple visions getting all wavy and fucked up.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder how next episode's really going to pan out.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like, if you were at full health, essentially, how would this pan out instead? Also, interesting little tidbit to see, like, Deku's been masking himself, but in this, Bakugo's not wearing his mask.
I wonder if that's significant or something.
I feel like in this case, Bakugo might not be masking his feelings.
Oh.
Whereas Deku most definitely is pulling the mask over himself.
Oh.
Like, he is burying himself in order to save others.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Like, Bakugo literally calls him out on it, or it's like, can you even smile right now? I don't think Deku could look himself in a mirror at this moment.
Totally agree with you.
Anyway, so like halfway through, like, so what would that be, like maybe 7 minutes into this episode, I'm like, I wonder if we're ever gonna go see what the other kids are doing, you know, after Deku left. And boom, it happens in the second half of the episode. Just when I'm wondering about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get here, and I'm curious what they were doing prior to this.
Like, what do you mean?
So how long has this whole let's trap Endeavor and get him to tell us where Deku is? How long did it take for that plan to take place? Essentially, because the way they play this off, they start speculating about like doing this literally the day after Deku left.
Yeah.
So how long did it take before they got the principal and everyone to drag Endeavor in?
I'm not 100% sure.
But yeah, they're talking about this, the lovely notes that Deku left everyone. And, you know, they're bringing up how, like, nobody's here. We don't get to learn anything. And much to the question that you were talking about of, like, aren't they going to be second years? No. They're not allowing them to move up.
So, this does not take place over 1 year, which...
It's more. It's more than a year.
And it could have been Horikoshi saying, I need more to it, because initially he wanted it done, I mean the manga as a whole to be done by the November 2022. So, wait, no, this arc would have been before that, so maybe from when I heard the fact that this was supposed to take place over 1 year got altered from after I heard it.
That could be. That does happen, I would think, when you're writing like, a chapter a week or whatever it is for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you realize, shit, I've put so much in motion at this point that I just do not have enough space to make this happen in the time frame I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just wonder what initial, his initial end game is probably what will happen next season, but there's probably just a lot more in between stuff got added.
Yeah, like it's a lot of the same. Like people write in a bunch of different ways, right? Like some people will outline like most of the overarching details and then get to their ending. Other people tend to write where it's like, all right, here's my start, here's my ending, how do I get there? And that just ends up taking more time because they're just not as good at pre-planning everything from the start, or most stuff from the start.
Yeah, and sometimes you're planning 1 month, month and a half in advance for a very particular event to happen, and then it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That joke went right over your head.
Yes, it did. I wasn't sure what you were referencing at all.
Knowledge fight.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yep. You should have. There's a lot of things that take long times. All right. You weren't very clear as to which you were referencing.
Ah, okay, okay.
That's supposed to happen. And then it turns out things don't get covered like you thought. No, but like you could literally look at One Piece. I don't think the way Oda did things with Wano was the way he originally wanted to. I think he might have like had to rush things in a way that didn't work because of what he had already set up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he decided to cut his losses and end it in a way that wasn't as good as he could have done, and then have to retroactively in chapters prior to that ending through flashback make things make sense. And while it doesn't make the ending much better, it does help it a little bit, at least to the arc that it came from. Anyway, getting on to things outside of planning. Yeah, they basically plan to get Endeavor, and it's actually Uraraka that plans that, which is kind of surprising. She's not exactly someone that you would normally expect to do that.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, let's go to the fucking source. So I think she's the one that really sets into motion the plan to like get Endeavor to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they basically the principal helps trap Endeavor into a meeting with the class. He pulls out a GPS at some point, which they knock out of his hand and try to take. They're like, come on, let us just borrow this for a bit. Which I assume they did. Like he did let them.
Yes.
Because I don't remember seeing it, at least, in the little bit we got to see of everyone there. But I assume that he did let them borrow it to get to him. Because even Endeavor's like, Deku has left All Might. Like, this meeting happens after that. Which is why I'm so confused to how long he's been gone right now.
What's the timeline in here?
Yeah. I'm curious if it will tell us when he does rejoin UA how long he's been gone. But yeah, so we have Class 1A showing up to drag Deku back kicking and screaming to the school.
And Deku is...
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's just fine.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go back to UA.
And he's so fine that he's going to, like, shove aside his own classmates and his friends so he can run away.
Yeah.
And be as broody as Rook is.
I'm going to get revenge.
So here's the thing, right?
Yes.
Didn't the prior teaser for this episode tell us how he needs to unlock 100%?
Yes. Question
That
mark?
didn't happen at all in this.
No?
He claims he can use 100% when he's talking to All Might. We didn't see that happen. Why did you use 100%? When did this happen? Why can you do this all of a sudden?
Well, the full 100%.
Yeah, foe, but that's not like the full 100%. So is he lying to All Might? Would be my first question. And my second question is, if that's the case and he like is able to use 100%, what was the point of doing that with like part of the teaser there in the prior episode? Like it made it sound like this was going to be a quick training thing to finally like get him to 100%. And that's not at all what they did.
Good point. Very good point. I don't know.
Anyway, we get a teaser of the fight between Wade and Deku.
And it looks intense.
It's kind of crazy, honestly, seeing what Deku looks like with all the shading and hashing and all that, and then seeing like the other characters who are drawn like in the more upbeat style, right? Versus Deku's dark, brooding, evil hero kind of look.
Yeah.
I would be curious, right? If Stain shows up here. If Stain helps them take Deku back.
I wonder what Best Girl will do.
You won't know because you won't see her.
She still is Best Girl, by the way.
You have no idea if she is or not because you can't see her. And she gets barely any screen time.
I don't know.
There's no argument here. You have nothing.
Right.
Quite literally, because she's not on screen. And invisible. But yeah, I'm curious if Stain's going to show up and help lock down Deku.
I wonder if All For One would want an invisibility quirk. If it makes you permanently invisible, would that be something he would want?
I think he would, maybe for like situation's sake, but I think he'd also look for better versions of that quirk.
Okay.
Like a chameleon quirk where you can blend into your surroundings. Because that one you could probably turn on and off.
But yeah, next time it's going to be Deku versus Class 1A, which is literally what the episode is called.
No, like I said, I'm curious if Stain shows up and helps lock him down, because while he respects Deku, he can maybe also see that Deku's going down a path that would turn him from what he was.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not putting money on it, but I would be curious if he does, because the fact that he was shown here following him is a very interesting detail to just show now, if it's not going to pay off until next season.
I am going to say that this is happening simultaneously with the fact that Stain is going to meet All Might. I'm going to say Stain will meet All Might, and
you know what? That could be. Yeah, Stain could walk out and talk to All Might. That is true.
So you could be right that he may go and talk to Deku, but I will say, chronologically, this is happening simultaneously.
No, that wouldn't make sense, because we learn before this fight even takes place, we already know that what is it? Endeavor already knows that All Might and Deku have split apart, and that was at night. It's the day when he's getting talked to with the students.
So either that, or we will have a flashback to Stain and All Might meeting.
That could be. So, I wouldn't be shocked if Stain sneaks in there, gets a cheeky little blood lick, and locks down Deku so he can get taken back.
So, I would not be surprised if he does talk to Deku, but I'm saying there'll be a Stain All Might meeting.
I can definitely see that. Like I mentioned before, All Might is the one hero that he absolutely respected. it would not shock me if he came out and decided to talk to him.
Well, we'll have to see if that happens for the majority of the next episode. Because the fight could only be 2 minutes, and then the other 20 are random bullshit. I don't know.
The fight's just over after like the first 2 minutes of the episode.
No.
Hey, guys, we're taking Deku back.
No. The fight is like the first 3 minutes, and then cut to theme song. The rest of it is nothing else.
No, you know what?
Okay.
We get to the theme song, right? We get the scene of Deku getting dragged back to the school, and then you get the end credits, and then the rest of the 20 minutes is just a teaser for next episode. Mixed with an omake.
But I did do a little bit of sneaky snake cheating to see how many how many chapters are left to cover in the Dark Hero Saga, and there are exactly 9. And with exactly 3 episodes left, we should still be on the same pace we are going on. So
is it 20 or 26 episodes this season?
25.
Okay, so yeah, 3 chapters an episode would cover that, yeah.
Yeah, which is what they've usually been doing. Every now and then they hit 3.5, sometimes 4, but more often than not, 3 chapters an episode.
Okay, I was gonna say because there are some times where we've had like a little filler episode at the start or the end of an arc. So I was curious if it was 26, if that's what we were gonna get.
Yeah, so I may have been incorrect in stating that we might not get a full end to an arc. So come back with us next week for the fight.
All right. Place your bets, everyone. How much you want to bet on Class 1A? How much you want to bet on the Deku? Taking all bets. Let's go.
And catch everybody next time.
I'll be sitting here counting my money because the house always wins.